for Year 11 methods. This is exercise 3E, question 6D and E. Okay, we want to sketch the graph of these parabolas, and you notice that they all have a negative in front of the x squared. Now remember, you need to get this in turning point form first, or first things first. I always like to follow this structure. So my y-intercept would be at 0, 1. It's going to be a frown, and my TP, I need to get this in turning point form. So I need to first take the negative out, okay? So because in order to do the complete the square, I need the x squared to have a coefficient of 1, okay? Otherwise it won't work. So when I take the negative out, all the signs inside the bracket change. Okay, so I want to do the scaffold now. X minus 1, so that's negative 2. 4 minus 1. Okay, so when I scaffold it, I get x squared minus 2 minus 5, like that. Okay, now I want to now re-expand it, okay, because I've simplified whatever's inside. I want to reintroduce the negative to both the terms, so this becomes negative x plus 2 plus 5, okay, like that. So what's happening here is that I've got a graph with TP 2, 5. Okay. Now that's we need to find the x-intercepts, otherwise we can't finish. So x-intercepts y equals 0. So I can literally something y equals 0, 0 equals y. So we've got x minus 2 squared plus 5. I can move the x minus 2 squared to the other side. Comes positive, like this, equals 5. I can square root both sides, so x minus 2 equals plus or minus root 5 to get rid of the square root, and I can square, sorry, to get rid of the square. So I add 2 to both sides, so 2 plus or minus root 5, like that. So I've got 2 x-intercepts, 2 plus or minus root 5. To draw the graph, I've got y here, x there, and my x-intercepts at 2 minus root 5. Now, root 5 is actually greater than 2, so it's going to be in the negative region. So it's somewhere here, 2 minus root 5. How do I know? Because root 4 is 2, and root 5 obviously is greater than 2. Okay, so this is going to be in the negative region, and that should be positive 2 minus root 5. This will be 2 plus root 5. It's going to be a frown, and my TP is at 2, 5, so it's going to look something like this. 2, 5, and my y-intercept is at 0, 1, which is great. Okay, there's a problem. There's a slight problem with my graph. It's not very symmetrical, so I got to make sure, not symmetrical, but proportional. So make sure whatever you have there is actually proportional. So I'm going to make it a bit higher. 2, 5, and that's 1 there. So I've got my x-intercept, I've got my y-intercept, and I've got my turning point. So we're happy there. Now for E, this looks a bit slightly more complicated. My y-intercept is at 0, negative 12. It's going to be a frown again. My TP, I'm going to work out my TP. So I'm going to factorize it. I'm going to take a negative 2 out as a common factor. Got x squared plus 6x plus 6. Okay, which makes sense. Because if I re-expand it, I get what I had originally. Now I'm going to use scaffold inside. So we've got x plus 3 minus 9 plus 6. So we've got minus 2 inside. You can simplify. That's minus 3. I'm going to expand. I'm going to put the 2 back in. Expand it. So I'm multiplying negative 2 with the bracket. So negative 2x plus 3 squared. Negative 2 times positive 3 is positive 6. So my TP is at 3, negative 3, 6. Okay. I want to find my x-intercepts. So x-intercepts y0, so I'm literally putting 0 as y. I'm going to move the two brackets to the other side. Because positive 2 times the brackets equals 6. I want to divide both sides by 2. I cannot square root it at the previous step, okay? So it doesn't work because I have 2 at the front. Equals 3. So I square both sides now. X plus 3 equals, whoops, x plus 3 equals plus minus root 3. X equals minus 3 plus minus root 3. Now, negative 3 plus root 3 won't give us a positive value, so it's in the negative region. Both of them are in the negative region. So what's going to happen is we've got two intercepts. They're both in the negative region, and we know our y-intercept's at 12. So I'm going to just going to remove this. Go back to it. Oops. Go back to PowerPoint. I'm going to redraw this. Oops. For some reason, it cut off everything. So rewrite this. Solution will be negative 3 plus minus root 3. They're both going to be in the negative region. And what's going to happen is that we've got a graph that it's going to look something like this. The y-intercept's negative 12. My turning point is negative 3, 6. And we've got two x-intercepts, negative 3 minus root 3, negative 3 plus root 3, like that. Okay, and we know our graph is a frown. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how to deal with negatives when it comes to it, when you're having to complete the square of negatives. It's still doable. You just take the negative out, okay, or negative and the factor out, as with the second case. So hopefully it helps.